So much to unpack tonight from this week's episode of MAFS, better known as Married at First Sight. I think I'm going to just skip all the other stuff and just head to the proverbial elephant in the room. Poor elephants, they get blamed for all this nonsense. Well, the couples head off to the ranch. They all meet at the dinner table. It looks like Bao made a nice meal for everybody. The guys helped out and grilled. They're talking, and I said I wasn't going to talk about everybody else, but I guess I'll cover a little of it. They were all sitting there at the table talking about the relationships, and your boy Zack says, we're in a good place, and Michaela, they're talking all great. And she was giving advice to Ryan and some of the couples about, if you're thinking something, just, get it out, just say it. But a lot of people in this season are acting like a big dosser. For those of you Married at First Sight people out there that don't know what that is, just YouTube Tyson Fury, you big dosser. Got to explain it, or look it up what dosser means. It's a saying of a heavyweight champion, WBC, Tyson Fury. He always says it. But anyway, back to the topic. Besides a couple of dudes on this season acting like some big dossers, it just seems like, I don't know, I keep saying it, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but it just seems like either the editors are taking stuff out or I'm missing something. But Michaela and Zack were fighting last week over not getting to sleep in the. Zack wanted to sleep in the bed with Michaela. She wasn't having it. This week they're getting along. They go talk before they, start mixing with the other couples at the ranch. They try to make sure everything's going to be cool. But later, they head to bed, and the next day they start talking. And Zack starts talking about the marriage, and he says, marriage isn't difficult. It's just tough being married to you. Now I'm thinking, how do you think she's supposed to take that? Is she supposed to say, oh, okay, cool, yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I'm hard to get along with. Word up. Word up. We never heard that. Guess it comes from watching the 80s Big Daddy Kane KRS battle. Took me back to the 80s. Anyway, I'm just like, why is this dude going to say something? Like I said, it seems like him and Johnny, they try to say things to make their wives go crazy. Then when they had crazy, see? I told you she was nuts. See that? All I said was, I can't get along with her. Next thing I know, she's hitting me with a AK-47. I mean, what did I do? But she's talking to him and trying to figure him out, because she was like, I can't remember if it was there or later, but I think it was later. But she just explodes on him, like, because they did show it out of sequence last week when they showed that he just said, it's difficult being married to you, and she blew up and started, spazzing out. Comes to find out, he said a little more than that. He's going into detail about we need to divorce and then get back together. And that's when she loses it. Like, that doesn't make any sense. She gets up, she's doing all these arm motions, runs off and comes back. She's like, you can't make this stuff up. And, this couple is the train wreck of all train wrecks. It's just one long train wreck. And, if the editors aren't editing this in a way to make Michaela or Zack seem crazy, then it's looking like they both got issues, but Zack seems to go from cool to not cool. And he even said he had a hard time forgetting things. It's like once he's mad, he's going to keep, holding it against her, which isn't fair to her, as I've said before. But later, Zack and Michaela are in bed, and they're getting along, and then all of a sudden another argument starts. And Michaela says, the same thing I was thinking. She's like, okay, there's evidence. We were just getting along. We were just laughing. She's like, where's this coming from? And he starts in again. And something about, what was it? He says something about doing something, and she says, well, you can go home. You can go home right now. You can leave right now. She makes it clear. And he's like, you don't want to ride with me? She's like, no, you can leave right now. If you want to leave, you can leave. You don't have to stay. So he's just looking at her. She calls up her sister, saying, hey, can you come pick me up? Like, Zack is, we're having a disagreement. He's like, give me the phone. So he gets on the phone. I think her name is Sharifa, something like that. And he says, he tells her what happens, and I know her sister's like, what's wrong with you guys? You guys are, if they're calling her all the time, she's probably thinking, what is it now? You're up, you're down, you're up. I don't know. She probably has to block her number from time to time just so she can get some sleep. But and then later when they calm down or something, Zack tells her something about leaving, and she says, I never said that, something about she didn't want to ride home with them. It was so much going on. I'm trying to take it scene by scene how it happened. She said she didn't want to ride home with them, and he's like, you don't want to ride home with me? Like, you came with me, you should, ride home with me. And then later something happens, and then she says something like, I never said, I didn't want to ride home with you. And then they replay it, and then they show she did. But she didn't say she wanted to ride home with them, truly. She just said she would. And that reminded me of the Dave Chappelle with the Rick James, when Rick James said something, and then they rewound the tape, and he just totally seemed to contradict himself when he said, I never did cocaine. And they rewound it talking about, yeah, I did cocaine. Anyway, I met people like that, by the way. Say something and then forget they told you and say the opposite. Anyway, they rewound the tape. She said something kind of different, at least in Zack's mind. And then later, he's just like, I can't, this is too much. He's trying to leave. He gets ready to go. She's like, no, don't go. Don't go. Just stay. Sleep on it. It's 10:30, 11-ish, sleep on it. And he said, thanks for caring about me. I guess she's saying, it's dangerous out there. I don't want you to run into any trouble because you're aggravated. And he's saying, what? You saying I'm not thinking clearly? She said, no, just sleep on it. And then, in the morning you can go. He's like, no, I just got to go. And so then after telling him, you can leave now, she did just like that. It makes more emphasis when you put the hands with it. And so she went from that to begging him to stay. I guess she didn't want to be the only woman left there getting abandoned by her husband, or she didn't want it to look like that. And so he just gets his backpack. He's ready to jet out the door. You see Bao with the door cracked, watching the whole thing. She's looking down, looking sad, and this is when Hurricane K really appears. You see one of the producers named Crystal's holding her, and she's like, get out! Get out! Slams the door. Zack goes outside, and he's about to leave, and then Michaela starts in on Ryan. She's like, why don't you get in the car? He's like, okay. She's like, get in the car, He's like, yeah, he's saying yeah, but he's not doing it. And she's like, I guess she was mad I guess they cut the scene out where I guess he said something that Michaela didn't like to Zack. So she's like, you can get in the car too. And then he's like, it almost seemed like she wanted Ryan to stop him from leaving too. And he's like, well, he's a grown adult. What do you want me to do? Lay under the car to stop him from leaving? Because Zack goes out there and tells everybody, hey, I'm leaving. And Gil's like, all right, man. Gil's not putting up an argument. But Michaela comes out and tries to keep him from going. He's like, no, I'm going. And so she just had a fit. And, I feel sorry for her to a point. She has her flaws, but Zack is playing games, I feel. I fail to see where he keeps, taking good moments, just like Johnny, taking good moments and then turning them bad. To me, that's his out card. That's what he's trying to use to get out of the marriage to me. And so, if your mate is not allowing you to live down anything, you can never advance because they're going to keep bringing stuff up. And every moment that you have that's good is going to turn bad. Before that, they were feeding goats and laughing and ha ha. He was talking about he looked forward to going to bed with her. She's like, why? He's like, because we always have fun. Well, they didn't have fun that night. This couple is really toxic. I think Johnny's toxic. When they were having dinner together, Zack asks, how's everything going with you? And he just says, yeah, or something. Gil's like, no, we don't know. But Johnny's got issues. Ryan and Brett continue to fight. She tells him, he says something like he doesn't know what to do. She's like, just do what you want to do, meaning just be honest. He just seems to be low energy, and she says like he's saying one thing and then doing nothing. Like he wanted to sleep with her at the ranch, but doesn't want to do it at the house. And so Ryan and Johnny end up in the same room together, and Bao and Brett end up in the same room. So, and then I see Gil and Mirla hugged up. I'm like, I think more is going on with Gil and Mirla than they're letting on. I think they just don't want to reveal too much. They want to kind of keep an edge because, they don't want to seem like the boring couple on the show. But Gil's starting to become a nag too. He's always talking about the things Mirla's not doing, and he tells her, when you are Debbie Downer, it messes with my mood. And she says, I'll make a mental note of it and change. It's like she keeps taking it on the chin. She's not complaining so much about, the things he does, but he's constantly just, taking little jabs. And I know they play like that, but that's got to get old after a while. But Zack and Michaela, man, this couple, I even watched the Unfiltered to see his reaction to Michaela, and he saw when she spazzed out because he didn't see that the night that it happened. And he said, I'm not used to that. And I said, before you said you've been here before. You've had women that blow up like that. So you know how this can end up. Now you're saying, I've never seen anything like that. So the dude just seems to be kind of dishonest. And, it's not a good look to sit there and contradict yourself in front of the world. It's not a good look to contradict yourself just one-on-one, but definitely not in front of the world. This couple is the train wreck of all train wrecks. I don't know what they have in common. And even if they do have something in common, it only lasts for about 5 minutes, and then Zack is bringing up something that causes a huge fight, and then Michaela goes bananas. And it's like when people know, it's almost wise. If you have some little pet peeves, it's wise to not show somebody that you're close to, because if they have a tendency to try to push your buttons, they're going to use that. Like if they know a certain word makes you go, crazy, when they get mad at you, they're going to say that word to push your buttons. And then when you blow up, it'd be like I said, oh, see, they're crazy. I didn't do nothing. All I said was, that word, and they lost it. I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anything. Next week, they show Michaela and Zack, and I don't know, because of the editing again, I don't know if they're cutting something out, but she says, I love him now. I don't know if she's referring to Zack or just what. But what did you guys think of tonight's episode? What did you think of Michaela blowing up on Zack? Did you think Zack was trying to push her buttons? Earlier when they were talking before they had the big fight in the bedroom at the ranch, meanwhile back at the ranch, Big Daddy Kane line. She tells him, like, you just go. And he's like, okay, thanks. So he gets up and leaves. The habit of these men this season is just constantly leaving. Like, Val wasn't happy that Johnny wanted to be apart from her at the ranch. They go on the ranch to, have fun and get close. And some people think it helps us to get close by staying apart. Oxymoron. How are you going to improve your marriage if you're not with your wife? You're sitting up there in a room with a dude. Did you get on the show to hang with a dude or get a wife? How are you going to make something stronger if you're not with your wife? Makes no sense. Bao wasn't happy about it. But I'm just tired of seeing these men storm out. They're just constantly leaving. And Zack is gone. And he keeps playing with her mind. That's what gets old. And that's what Michaela's getting frustrated with. It's like, if you don't like me, you want a divorce, just leave. Don't keep playing. Don't keep smiling in my face. Don't keep laughing and ha-haing with me. And then later you're going to bring up something I did 10 days ago. Or maybe even before that. I feel like I'm forgetting something, though. Let's see. Ryan and Brett. Same old with, like I said, Ryan really has no energy. Bao and Johnny, pretty much the same. Jose and Rachel. They played a game, Married at First Sight, most likely to, and it was just kind of a silly game where, like, who's most likely to have a child first. I got it right. I picked Rachel and Jose, mainly because Rachel brought up having children. They brought up who's the drama queen, and I thought of Johnny, and so did Bao. But I think Johnny picked Bao. They asked a bunch of other questions about who's most likely to leave a party first. They picked Mirla, and she agreed because she calls herself a Debbie Downer. She's honest about herself. I like how Mirla carries herself. She's real feminine, ladylike. She only speaks when necessary. She's not running off at the mouth all the time. Real feminine quality, so I like that about her. If I'm forgetting something, leave it in the comments. Make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching. Be fearless. Yay.